Well, we've looked at doing both parks in one day.
Now let's look at how to do a long trip and not get burnt out on Universal Orlando.
This is episode 535 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. As you are listening to this, you'll have probably gone back home at this point. Tracy and I'll still be in Orlando. Chris and Michelle will have gone back home.
Oh, sad.
I am joined by Michelle.
Hi.
And as you know how we record the show at this point, we record two in one go. Michelle and Chris, no, that's you. Tracy and Chris are not with us. Tracy's still, she might be asleep at this point. I don't actually know. She was knackered tonight, bless her. But yeah, we reached out to the Producers Club. So like I said in the intro, a lot of people only go for it. Like Michelle, you very much, your trips are like a weekend or 3 or 4 days or whatever.
Yeah. Mine are usually shorter. Whereas
for us, especially over our last few trips, have definitely been longer. Well, we generally come out for a week. It always used to be 2 weeks. We haven't done a 2-week trip for like 9 years now. So we've been snatching a week here and there. We're actually out for 10 days when we come over. Like now, when we're there now, 10 days. But I know it's when you're spending that entire time on property Universal. I've just said to Michelle off air there when we came over in 2015, the parks were relatively quiet. And when you're hitting all those screen-based attractions, like one after the other, I had a conversation with Kelly Wood, a listener of ours, and she said the same thing. It's like if you've got Express Pass and you are rattling ride after ride after ride, especially screen-based ones, and if you have any sort of nausea, that the nausea can kick in, but then also just that burnout of screen-based attractions and just rides in general of doing the same thing over and over again can hit really quickly.
Oh, well, I hope it doesn't hit that quickly.
I mean, it was 7 years ago, but that 2015 trip, I know it hit us. The thing that kind of took us out of it a lot was we were there for Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm sure that'll come up when we talk about this, having like a seasonal event in there. But we reached out to the Producers Club and got them to send some ideas in of how to kind of stretch those trips out and not get bored, and I'm sure Michelle and I will chime in ourselves. So Michelle, do you want to take us away?
I sure will. So John Tyler, the lovely John Tyler, sent in some ideas for us. He had to say, I have an odd take on this. So the number one thing that ruins or dampens a trip is physical discomfort, feet hurting, chafing in the legs, and just general exhaustion.
Yes.
Because I am diabetic and an ex-infantry soldier, I know more about foot care than anyone should reasonably know.
I did not know that about John.
I knew he was diabetic. I didn't know that he was a soldier.
No.
So he has multiple pairs of shoes and sandals just for going to the parks, and he's super careful with his feet while there. He said, I also changed my workout routine in the weeks before going to the parks, increasing distances of my walks and runs.
A what? A workout routine? What's that?
I don't know. That's a weird word. We need to look it up real fast. Finally, risking a TMI breach. I wear sports compression underwear when I'm in Orlando.
Okay.
The longest ones I can find, which his are Adidas. I have never gotten chafed wearing them, and they breathe far better than cotton. It's a little gross to discuss, but we've all seen people waddling around the parks with their legs apart. That's funny. My daughter Audrey is one of those.
Okay.
Other than that, just slow down and remember to rest. You can't go from a couch and office chair and then hit the parks like a multiple-day Spartan race event. And drink a lot. The parks are awesome enough to keep me interested as long as I feel good.
Okay, that's coming at it from a different tack from my point of view, but we know exhaustion is like, I mean, you weren't there with us in September, just, I know Tracy was going through some stuff, but obviously like we're having to put her in a wheelchair for that night at Horror Nights and stuff, it does take its toll for definite. I can't go like the first couple of trips Tracy and I went on, we were like park open to park close every day and then some, and we'd take it in our stride. Well, because we were a lot younger then than we are now. Now it's like, oh my God, no, I just can't. I'll keep going just because I am that stubborn. But Tracy's like, I cannot take that anymore.
Well, and I know you make fun of me a lot for not wanting to walk, but that's exactly why. Like, I don't want to walk to the hotels because I'm literally walking 12 miles a day in the parks. So I'm trying to save my, not just my physical energy, but like my my feet. My feet get really sore. And so do subsequently so does my lower back. So I try not to walk more than I have to unnecessarily, because once I'm in there, I'm in there for good,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. We kind of learned. So when we were there in September, there was a day, funnily enough, we met up with Connor, our friend Connor, and we rode a few rides with him. And Tracy's like, her hip was starting to hurt. And she was like, oh, I feel like I want to go back to the hotel. But that whole trek back to the bus loop. And it kind of made us look at things as like, you can work breaks into your day. You don't necessarily have to go and just like sit and not do anything. Go and do the Born Stuntacular, you know, go and watch the horror makeup show. We actually went to the Today Cafe and just had like a snack and sort of work your breaks into doing something in the parks rather than literally just sitting down to take a break. There are opportunities to do stuff. I've said this before,
sure.
Like, it's a shame Universal don't have something, you know, like the Magic Kingdom Railroad. That's something, if you're at Disney and you're tired, but you still want to be entertained, you jump on the Magic Kingdom Railroad and do a full loop on that. Universal, right. Or the TTA, you know, those types of things where you can get off your feet, but still be entertained. There isn't many of those things at Universal.
Correct. Well, that's exactly what Cody is talking about in this next clip. You want to read what
read
he
ahead,
had to say?
Have you? Oh, hey, who's hosting this show? Cody said, this might go without saying, but watching the shows is a great way to spend your time. In the case of Born and Horror Makeup, you get to not hide. I mean, you kind of do. I can't even read that. You get to get inside in the AC and relax without sacrificing park time. Exactly. That's exactly what I've just been saying. Yeah. He said also, just taking your time in each land is a great way to extend your enjoyment in the park. There are hidden areas and details in the lands that even the most seasoned veterans don't notice, which, you know, Tracy is a huge advocate of Port of Entry very specifically, and going back to the last weekender, Zeus Landing, that there are so many hidden details in all the lands, quite honestly, that people are rushing around ride and don't take in how much effort's actually gone into those lands. So that's definitely one I would agree with. He said, and of course, can't forget the food. Try out new places you've never been or new foods you've never had is a great way to make each trip a little different. P.S. I need Chris here for this, by the way.
Papas rellenos.
Okay. Natural selections in Jurassic Park are great. Oh, they are?
Wow. They are papas is potatoes. I don't know exactly what rellenos means. I think it's something fried. I know like the chili peppers are deep fried. So I'm some kind of deep fried potato thing, I'm guessing.
But that's a great thing as well. I know Tracy and I have talked about it where it's too easy, especially when you don't get to go that often, that you tend to gravitate to the places you know you like and miss out on some of those places that you don't go. There's so many, like we've still never eaten at Lombard's, and we look at each other all the time and go, how the hell have we, not Lombard's, sorry, Finnegan's. We've never eaten in Finnegan's. There's so many places that we haven't eaten. It's like Chris will always go to Cowfish. He will always go to Strongwater Tavern. And rather than sometimes step out of your comfort zone and take a risk somewhere you've never been before. I mean, sometimes it backfires. You know, we went to Confisco Grill in September and it wasn't great, but you try it and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But
right.
Because there are so many places to eat, and as I say, it's too easy just to gravitate to those places that you know are going to be good.
Yeah, and my family has definitely taken this same approach the past couple of years. I should say ever since Krista was no longer in a stroller. Because when she was in a stroller, you know, we could make her push through all day.
Yeah.
But now that I've got an older child who does tend to get a little bit tired, we do tend to just kind of take a lot more breaks and chill. And plus we are blessed to be able to go, you know, to the park several times a year. So we don't feel like we have to fit it all in, which is nice. But even if we did, it is really nice just to kind of chill your way through the parks, not have to run around from ride to ride, which is one of the greatest reasons to have express passes, because you don't feel rushed. But we do take a lot more snack breaks than we used to, and just find little nooks and crannies in the parks to kind of sit and chill and just enjoy being there.
Yeah, that's
without having to ride a ride.
Thing. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's so ingrained in you to go to the parks and ride the rides. Primarily, that's why you're there. It was funny enough at the last weekend. Tracy and I think it was the Tuesday before we came home, and we'd been pottering around. We went and did Gringotts, and then the heavens opened, and we got stuck in Diagon Alley. We ended up jumping on the Hogwarts Express and going across to Islands of Adventure, and we ended up getting. She got a beer and I got a butterbeer, and we went and sat out on the back patio under an umbrella, and it was absolutely pouring down. But it just kind of made you sit, and even though it was raining and miserable, just to appreciate I love the back patio. Actually, I've never been out there since Velocicoaster got built, but as it used to be, and just to, like you say, appreciate where you are, especially as people who don't get to go that often, just to sit there and go, yeah, I am in my favourite place in the world, and just kind of take it in, because it's too easy to rush through a vacation, get home and go, yeah, I don't really remember anything that happened, because you just rush. I find Horror Nights like that a lot. Yeah,
I definitely felt that at Horror Nights this year, for sure, because I only went the 2 times.
Yeah. Because your priority is the houses, and it would be nice to be able to just sit and grab a drink and just sit in a scare zone for an hour and watch the little stories play out. But who's got time for that ordinarily? Like, if you haven't been through the houses multiple times, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's difficult.
Yeah, I think Trevor O'Hara, our next contributant, kind of agrees with us. Contributor, spend time just existing in the various parts of the park. Yeah. Read a book in the Leaky Cauldron, sip a butterbeer, and watch the excited groups of kids in their house robes arrive at Hogwarts for the first time. Have a few Duff beers and play some cards with your friends in Moe's Tavern.
I like that one.
Yeah, take the immersion an extra step by living normal life in the park. Most of us wish we could live in these fictional places anyway.
What a great idea. It really is. Like, Tracy and I have said it so many times. I'd love to one day just go into Islands of Adventure, grab a drink and a pastry from the Croissant Moon Bakery, and just sit and watch people come in. We'd never do it, right? Because it's just not me, but I really want to at some point. We kind of did it a little bit this last time. Tracy was desperate to have a beer with Raymond, because it was like the first time she probably got to sit down and have like an alcoholic drink. So we went, it was our last night, and we went and sat in the bar at Duff Gardens, and they both had a duff each, and kind of just sat and kind of like the park was just winding down. It was, it was about 10 minutes before park close, and it's little things like that we don't tend to do. And it was nice when you grab those little moments and just, like you say, just exist in the parks. It's a perfect way of putting it.
Yeah, I've always said, I don't know if I said it out loud, but I've said it to myself, that if I ever got to live in Florida, I would, because I work remotely, so I would love to be able to just take my laptop and charger into the parks and work in the parks at some random place for the day. I would love that.
Not even necessarily working. It's like I've thought about before, the same thing if we ever lived in Orlando. It's like, how if I'm going to go for a walk, so you walk around your local park or whatever it be, to have Islands of Adventure as your local park, to just go for a walk, just have a walk around a lap of the park, and then off you go back.
Yeah,
like, just that.
Even without riding anything.
Yeah, but I've always said I want to do, that's my plan one of these days as well, is to go to the parks and have a full day of not riding a ride. Eat, drink, maybe watch a show, do some character meets, but not ride anything. It's never happened yet. It probably never will, but I'd love to, just allow you to view the parks in a different way. Because when you are just ride, it does get old quickly.
Maybe that's something we can plan into our next weekender. A day to do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like, we talked about it at the last...
That sounds fabulous.
We talked about it at the last weekender. So that week's trip, Tracy and I barely rode anything. I think over the course of 7 days, we rode like 20 rides. And normally I'd come back off. And I'm like, oh my God, we barely did anything. And I came back going, do you know, I had an absolute blast. And it didn't matter that I didn't get to ride a ton of stuff. I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of focus on Halloween Horror Nights. But it didn't bother me that we didn't ride a lot. And that's the perfect proof of you don't need to ride rides all the time to enjoy just being there.
Very true.
Just hanging out with people, having a laugh. You know, it was awesome.
Yep.
I love
completely agree.
Yeah, I love the way he's put just exist in the parks. Like, I can imagine just grabbing a book and just going sitting down by the waterfront and with a drink, you know, butterbeer or whatever it might be, and just being in the parks. It'd be cool.
I know. That'd be so cool.
That's depressing, isn't it?
Oh, I could only do it, though, if I lived in Florida. Because with me having to take these quick little trips, I try to squeeze a lot into those little trips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's the same with us. It's like when we come over now, there are as much research trips for the podcast as they are vacations. I know it kind of annoys Tracy a little bit now that they're not holidays anymore. They're working holidays. And it is what it is. And I do get it. I do understand it from this point. So a lot of, like, we need to go. It's like when we came over last time, it's like we need to do a crap ton of Horror Nights. We need to ride Velocicoaster. We need to do this, that, and the other. And to be fair, there was stuff we didn't do. Like, we didn't do Bend the Bow. We didn't do the Crepes. We didn't do the Mummy. But there's a lot of pressure on to do those things because it's knowledge for this. Like, how
it's
come?
True.
Yeah.
And that's the same being a travel agent.
Yes.
Just about every single time I go on a quote unquote vacation, it's not a true vacation.
It's research.
Like I'm still getting contacted by clients the whole time. I'm still taking pictures and posting on social media, or even if I don't post it, then I'm taking the pictures and prepping to be able to post later. The only true time that I go on a vacation is when I'm on a cruise, because I have no choice but to disconnect.
Yeah.
It's really hard being a person that works in the travel industry and going on what most people consider a vacation. It's just not the same. Even if you try, it's almost impossible to not be working at the same time, because you work and play in the same place. Yeah. Right.
And I know it's like for us, and it's not that we don't love it, because we do, but it's like the days when we first started coming out and it was just us. You might bump into the odd person that you get talking to. Now it's like we're already seeing it a little bit. And again, I'm not complaining about anybody at all, but it's just like because of who we are and what we do, you have so many people reaching out to you. Oh, we want to meet up. We want to do this. And it's like, we've only got so much time. So trying to cram all that in and not be rude to people, that's what I find awkward. Because I want to be the people pleaser. So, do you want to meet up? And I was like, say, yeah, even though it's like, we haven't really got the time, but it's awkward. But anybody listening, please, if you see us, come and say hi. We'd love that. But it's just, it's
hard
tough.
to plan ahead.
It is. It's difficult.
Yep.
Anyway, after that, moving on. This one comes from our good friend Kayla Roebuck. She says, my main thought, take your time and enjoy the sights. Listen to Tracy. Are you listening, Tracy? She said, listen to you. Look up, look around, and listen. Listen's a great one.
Yes.
Instead of having to run from line to line, you can actually take your time, take a break, and check out all the small details everywhere. Go into the shops you've never seen. There is cool literally everywhere. Eat at sit-down restaurants, the Chocolate Emporium, Antojitos, Mythos. Play mini golf. Yes, mini golf is awesome. You still haven't done it, have you?
I have not.
Oh man, it's so good. The only problem is that, like, the reason we haven't done it for a while is it is expensive, but it is so good. I might have to try and cram this in this time.
Oh my!
Check out the nightlife and sleep in. See, that goes against every fibre of my being. Sleep in. Chris would be like, hell yes.
Well, that also because of your time change. That's a difficult one for you to do.
I would disagree. I don't care, even if it was because of the time difference. Even when I get over onto US time,
it's hard for you to sleep in.
Not necessarily. Like, I couldn't go, I'm just going to have another hour. I'd be like, right, I need to be up now because the parks are open.
Oh, okay.
Do a boat tour of all the hotels and check out their restaurants. That's a great one. I pool hopped because I stayed at Sapphire Falls and was allowed to pool hop. You may want to make sure your hotel allows you to pool hop. Going back to last week's episode, as far as I'm aware, you can along the sort of main on-site ones, but not Surfside. Surfside and Dockside are on their own, and the rest are kind of on their own. If you're a pooly person, I suppose. If you are there during Halloween or Christmas, the Scarecrow Stalk Christmas tree hunt is really cool and takes you into the shops you might have skipped. Now, Trish is incredibly annoyed at me because we didn't do the Scarecrow Stalk, but we are planning to do the holiday tree hunt because the little ornament looks amazing. That's the thing, like that last one she's mentioned there. I feel like I'm doing all the talking here by this point. As I said at the end of the last one, I could probably do this on my own. Halloween if you're wanting to stretch it out and not get bored, during Halloween Horror Nights is the perfect time to go. Because you can have a lie-in if that's what you want to do, and then do the parks a little bit, and then do most of your time at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of the opposite of you. My family none of us are morning people. I don't know if we're quite as bad as Chris. Like we're up and ready to eat breakfast by 9, but we don't usually feel the need unless we're staying at like Cabana Bay and don't have Express Pass and it's a busy time of the year. We don't really feel the need to rush to the parks.
But that Express Pass makes that massive difference though, doesn't it?
Oh, a huge difference for sure. And plus we really like to be up at night. Like I wish the parks would stay open later because they're gorgeous at night, but even City Walk is amazing at night. The vibe, the energy there is so cool.
Yeah.
So we really like the nightlife. If we're back at the hotel around the right time, they play movies out by the pool, which is fun.
Yeah, there's another thing. Yeah, we've never done any of them before, but there's another option.
Yeah, we'd like all of the stuff that happens at night. So we tend to be night owls and then sleep in a little bit in the morning for sure.
Yeah, we tend to be both. Up at the crack of dawn, and I tell you, if you go back and I don't know whether we've got any on my Facebook. If you're friends with me on Facebook, try and find our pictures from years and years ago. The first time we ever took the kids, because we did the character breakfast. I think I mentioned this last week. The character breakfast at the Confisco Grill, and poor Jade looks like a ghost.
Oh, poor baby.
Because we dragged her around those parks at 5 years old, from like open to close for 2 weeks, and she's like a picture with a cat in the hat, and it's like, oh my God, you look dead, kid.
She probably was.
She probably was.
Jeez.
She whinged less back then than she does now.
Poor thing.
But yeah, I like that idea of the boat tour around the hotels. That's something I don't think a lot of people realise, that because even if you're not staying at the hotels, that you still go and visit them.
They're gorgeous.
But it's one of those things, I think it's because you're not staying at them, it's kind of out of your line of sight.
Right.
So if people are just coming to Universal, they never think the hotels, because you think, oh, they're just for people who are staying there. But
or they think it's just a hotel.
Yeah.
Like, why would I go visit there? That's just where people sleep. These hotels at Universal are not just where people go to sleep. They are legit resorts with multiple eateries, shops, and they're just gorgeous. Even if if you're not hungry or don't want to buy anything, they're just gorgeous. So yeah, they're great to visit.
I can't wait to get back into Sapphire Falls and Strongwater Tavern. Like, that was the first time I'd ever, when we did our meetup in 2020, the first time we'd been over to Sapphire Falls, and just walking up those stairs into that entrance lobby with that big chandelier thing, I just fell in love with the place immediately, and I could have just sat there and just chilled out again. Like, who was it said about existing in the parks? Was it Trevor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do that. Just go and sit in a hotel lobby, because the lobbies are so... I mean, look at somewhere like the Royal Pacific. You could go and just grab a book and go and sit in the lobby and feel like you're in the South Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
The hotels... Like, I can't wait to get around Portofino. We actually watched Prince Charming Dev, one of the vloggers we watch. He went and did like a tour of it. That is like a city. It looks like I could get lost in there.
It's so pretty.
It looks mental.
And at Christmas, it's so gorgeous.
It doesn't, like, every other hotel feels like a hotel, but watching that video, it feels like a mini town.
Yeah.
Like, there were so many little side streets and nooks and crannies and stuff. It's Yeah, the hotels are amazing. And it's, again, like I say, it's one of those things that people tend to just not even consider. I mean, I always remember the first 2 or 3 times we came over to Orlando, even City Walk wasn't on our radar for the longest time. Our focus was parks. And then suddenly you start going to City Walk and realizing what it has to offer. And obviously it's changed massively since back then. That I could probably spend a day on City Walk now. Once that escape room opens, you could probably spend a day just in City Walk.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on and see what Stephanie Grant had to say. She always has some good things. She listed them.
Oh, yes.
So yes. Good job, Stephanie. Number 1, get the 3 park pass and spend every other or every third day at Volcano Bay.
Okay.
Not a bad idea, especially in the summer.
Yeah, if you water park, I mean, I would love to be a water park person because Volcano Bay is gorgeous. Like that hour we spent in there with you was not enough.
And totally ignore what Lee just said because you don't have to be a water park person to love Volcano Bay. I am not a water park person. I don't do slides. They terrify me. There's only a handful of actual attractions in there that I participate in other than the pools. But I love it there. It's so relaxing. And even though you're literally right next to the interstate, you would never know it. You feel like you're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. And the food options there are fabulous. The drinks are fabulous. The ice cream is the best. It's an awesome place to just go and literally relax.
Yeah, I suppose if you looked and that 3 park pass wasn't much more expensive, just to even go and hang out, like not even necessarily ride anything, just to go and have a wander around, take some pictures, grab some food. Yeah, it is gorgeous. You
can add the 3rd park to your annual pass or to your ticket for less than it costs to buy a 1-day ticket to Volcano Bay.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just makes sense for sure.
Just to go and sit on it. Like, again, going back to what Trevor said, just to go in there, grab a book. You don't necessarily have to experience the water park element of it. Grab a book, find a lounge, and just chill out. Like you said again.
You don't even have to put on a bathing suit.
No.
Like you could just go have shorts and some flip-flops on and sit in a lounge chair and
grab your laptop,
chill.
work from Volcano Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be super cool, actually.
That water park doesn't feel like a disgusting water park. So most water parks to me feel like I'm walking around in people's wet urine, like I mean, warm wet urine.
Michelle, I need to ask what dry urine feels like.
Yeah, I meant to say warm urine. Sorry. Like the little puddles, especially when you're waiting in the lines to get up onto a slide, like the little puddles of water, and they stink. I feel like I'm literally staying around people's urine.
You probably are.
Volcano Bay doesn't feel that way for some reason.
Because it's universal.
All right. Number 2, take advantage of transportation, bus and water taxi, and go visit other hotels. If possible, check out other pools if that is allowed. If not, just tour your hotel. Maybe even have a meal at one of the hotel's restaurants or food courts. Yeah. We just talked that one to death for sure.
Yeah. But it's like even if you really want to break your time up and really sort of spend a bit more time, getting a bus across to Cabana Bay, or even I would say even Surfside and Dockside are worth a visit. I know Chris and Alexa quite often go over there just to grab something to eat. Yeah, just to like again, we've talked to death of the hotel. There's so many hotels at Universal now, and they're all worth checking out.
All of them are gorgeous, for sure.
I haven't been to Aventura yet, but...
Number 3, if you have room to splurge, spend a day in City Walk, go see a movie, play mini golf. When it opens, do the escape rooms, buy souvenirs, have lunch and or dinner. Sometimes there will be live music by the waterfront. People watch the water taxis, or don't spend a whole day. Just do something in City Walk in the morning and go into the parks during the less busy afternoons.
Yeah. Again, City Walks, I said for the longest time, it wasn't even on our radar. It was a thoroughfare to get to the parks. And now I could quite easily go have breakfast, go and do mini golf, go and have lunch, go and see a movie, go and have dinner, grab a donut, go and sit down. There's nothing I like better than grabbing a donut and a drink and just going sitting on the steps down in front of the water taxi, like lagoony thing. I quite often have a moment down there.
Yeah, I really City Walk was brought into perspective for me on this last trip when I brought Audrey's boyfriend with us as well. He's a wonderful guy, but has never really traveled much in his whole life. And he's definitely never stayed in any super nice hotels or been to anywhere of the caliber of Universal, nothing more than like the little local theme park. Right.
Yeah.
So we get there at night and the parks are closed. First of all, he falls in love with Hard Rock Hotel, but then we take him to dinner into City Walk to go to Cowfish, and we're sitting down waiting for our table to be ready, and he's just looking around at City Walk like we're in Vegas or something. And he's just like, this is incredible. And I don't, my kids and I don't really think about it like that anymore. But seeing it through his eyes, Audrey and I were both like, this is really kind of cute. Like,
yeah.
That's we don't think about it like that, but it is pretty phenomenal.
Especially when you consider what it was 10 years ago. I think when we came over, 2013 was when it had just really started to see that transition over with, them adding. Since then, we've had Antojitos, Big Fire, Cowfish, Vivo, Red Oven, Menchie's, Voodoo Donut.
Goodness gracious.
Bread Box, Cold Stone Creamery. They've added so much to it. The mini golf, you get in the escape rooms now. The Red Coconut Club, becoming the Dead Coconut Club
so
and the
much.
Green and Red Coconut. It's just, they've really spent a lot of money to bring it up to the standard of the parks now, and it's a destination in and of itself now, I think, for definite.
It really is. Next, she says, no need to rush through any of the parks. Stroll leisurely, sleep in, don't overexert yourself. Try and relax. I feel like she was saying that directly to you, Lee.
Well, I love how she's put the word try and relax. And said,
Yes.
Try and relax. It just doesn't happen.
No.
And this 2-word sentence I keep seeing here, sleep in, I don't know what that means.
I know. And, trying to book our breakfast for
Bloody
Islands
Chris.
Dining. I know. I'm like, there's no way that Lee is going to wait until 10 o'clock in the morning to do breakfast. Oh, so funny.
It's a pain in the ass. But it's difficult. Again, it is difficult because it's so ingrained in you going to these theme parks that you need to be up and at 'em and in. They preach early park admission. You need to get in for early park admission because it's your best chance of getting on Velocicoaster or Hagrid's or whatever it might be. And like sleeping in, then you're missing that first hour, which is how many vlogs do you watch, or how many people guidebooks or whatever you read how many rides you can knock out in that first hour of early park admission, and you're telling me to lie in. But then I suppose if you're doing a longer trip, then you can have one day.
Well, exactly, and that's the point. Is you don't want to quote unquote knock them out.
Yeah,
you want to go. You want to enjoy your day. Like, what's the point of knocking them out all in an hour? But you've paid to have a ticket for the whole day, and now what?
And you do them all again. I remember going in 2005 when the free express pass was still there. So like the old Disney Fast Pass machine where they had all the machines out and you went and you stuffed your ticket in and you got the thing out. And it was supposed to be a thing that you couldn't get one until your other one had opened up. Well, Tracy and I proved that wasn't true. So we went into Islands of Adventure on the Friday morning before we came home, and we did a full lap of the park and got an express pass for every single ride we wanted to do. And I've got a picture somewhere of like the fan of express passes that we had. We literally had about 10 each.
That's funny.
And then went back around and just rode them all when the windows open. But like I say, it's so ingrained from day one when you go to these parks that you need to do everything, and then to take a step back and try to not do that is just, it goes against everything I've been trained to do when coming to Orlando, basically.
It does. It does. It took me a while to get over it too, but I learned, because that's speaking from last week's podcast when I mentioned taking my family to Disney the first time and over planning.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I did it with them. I overexerted them. And to this day, half of those family members refuse to go back with me ever again. I'm like, I swear I don't do that anymore. But it took me a while to get out of that habit of having to go and just realizing there will be another time. We can take it easy. We got plenty of time.
But then my argument with that is there might not be another time. You don't know what life's going to throw at you. Your next trip might be your last trip. I'm not saying it will be, and I don't want to be morbid, but you never know.
Oh, no. I've already instructed my children that they are to put me in a necklace and take me with them on every vacation they ever go on.
It's not really the same, but...
Yeah. So there's that. Number 5, review the daily schedule for your resort. Check to see if they have pool games, live music, movie by the pool, etc.
There you go. You mentioned that. It just made me think of, I know there's quite often live music in Finnegan's. You can grab a drink and just go and sit and watch that. There's tons of little stuff that you don't tend to notice when you are just go.
I know. I often wish that I could plan a week-long vacation there. It's hard for me with work and everything. But because I do wish that I had the time to have a day off from the parks and just enjoy my resort and do some things outside of the parks in Orlando. But that's hard for me. And if I can't have like a full pool day, then it really does end up just being like an hour at the pool.
Yeah. Like we forced ourselves on this last trip to do things outside of our comfort zone. But so we planned to meet up with Andy and Catherine, our good friends over there, and we did it at Cabana Bay. So we'll go and have lunch with them at Cabana Bay. So we get to go over to Cabana Bay and eat over there, but then also while we're there, we'll go and do the Universal Monsters photo op thing. So you can plan things like that kind of, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Things around other things that take you out of the things that you would ordinarily plan to do.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Number 6, plan to try and see every single live actor show in the parks over the course of your vacation.
I think that's a great idea. I think I definitely want to see, we haven't seen animal actors for a long time. So I might go and see that this time. There's not that many anymore though. That's the thing.
There's not.
And my issue with a lot of them now aren't sit-down ones. So you look at Beat Builders, the Blues Brothers, and the Celestina Warbeck, and the Tale of the Three Brothers, and the Frog Choir, and the Tri-Wizard Spirit Rally. They're all stand-up shows. So yeah, they're cool to go and see, but it's not a horror makeup. It's not a Bourne where you get to sit down.
It's not relaxing.
No.
Yep. Ask about tours at certain rides or attractions.
Yes.
If the team members are unable to do the tour at that time, you can try again later or another day. That's the benefit to having more than just a few days at the parks.
Yes, I still haven't done, I think we've done we've done the immigration tour at Men in Black, and we did the booth tour at Twister before it closed. Actually, we did the booth tour at Twister the day it was announced it was closing.
Ah.
So it's like, we need to go and do that today because it's not going to be here next time we come. Have you done any of the tours on the rides, Michelle?
Only in conjunction with an RIP or a VIP tour. So we did the immigration tour with Sonia.
Yes.
On our RIP tour in October, and then I did a VIP tour, a daytime one, in October the year prior, and they took us into the Mummy, which was cool.
Oh yeah, the production tour. Yeah, because there's the Mummy. I think there's one at Velocicoaster now. I think there's one in Fallon. And I think if you can find the right person, you can still do the forest tour at ET. I think I know someone who can do that. Kyle, we need to talk, buddy. Cool. He was there when we went through it last time, but he didn't see us. He was on the exit, so we never got to see him. I think that's it. It's one of those things, again, that they don't advertise, but if you're in the know, like a lot of us obviously are, they're worth, but it depends how busy the parks are.
Yeah.
But again, another great idea of something a little different.
Yep, for sure. We've talked about this next one before, but I don't think any of us have done it, is go bowling at Cabana Bay.
Oh, again, another great option if you want to not necessarily waste a bit of time, but just doing something different on Universal property. Looks
very cool.
Yeah.
This next one is something I have done, and I recommend it and love it. and I wish I could do it more often. And that is spend some time at the rooftop bar at Aventura.
Yes, I would like to go over there. I think Tracy and I have talked about maybe trying to get over there before the weekend. Whether it'll happen or not, I don't know.
I love it up there. It's gorgeous.
I can imagine the views are phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really, really gorgeous up there for sure.
This next one's interesting, by the way.
Yeah. Create your own UUOP inspired water taxi dinner. Start with drinks at one place, go for appetizers or dinner at another, and then end at one of the bars for after dinner drinks. Be sure to make reservations. She said, I made my list only using universal ideas. One could, of course, go to other theme parks, attractions in the Orlando area.
No.
But I am giving options that are solely on UOR.
And that's exactly what we were looking for. Yeah. Because yes, of course, you can expand your days at Universal and that potential burnout by, doing a SeaWorld, doing a Dirty Mouse Park, or even just
Discovery Cove is amazing.
Yeah, just even like a Ripley's or Disney Springs or the Icon Park or whatever. There's so much in Orlando, but I kind of wanted to do this of spending the entire time on Universal property.
Right.
Crystal, our good friend Crystal she said, my number one thing to spread out the day time is to take advantage of the hotel pools and Volcano Bay. Both great ways to have a down day and refresh your legs for another day in the park.
It's very true.
Yep.
Yes, because my legs and feet hurt a lot after walking all day, which is why I love the hot tubs at the pools. They make me feel so much better the next day.
And your little vibraty boots.
And my vibraty boots.
Don't ask.
Or do. I'll happily share. Brandy says, we usually go for 8 to 9 days every other year and definitely don't get tired of it. We always stay at Cabana Bay because we love the pools, atmosphere, and food. And we have APs, so we can come and go freely. We will sleep in a few days, have breakfast at the Bayliner Diner, then head over to the parks for a little bit. Some days we get up early and hit the parks first thing, then head back for bowling or swimming. We have at least 3 sit-down restaurant meals to break up the monotony of park food. It helps that I can only do so many coasters in a day.
Yep,
and that my hubby can only do so many screens. So we pick 1 or 2 of each and make sure we get them out of the way each day. Our daughter and her best friend are old enough to go off on their own. So after we start our day and ride some stuff together, they go off and then he and I grab a drink or snack and just soak it all in. We love to people watch. It may help that we've been so much that we're not in a huge rush to get it all done and definitely take time to relax and just enjoy being there. Basically, we all talk the night before to decide if we want to start early or late or our must-dos for that day, and then let the day in parks take us where they will. I'm not sure if this is outside the usual or exactly what you were looking for, but I do know that after every trip, I still go, oh man, I wish we had done whatever or rode whatever one more time.
Yep.
I'm excited for this episode. I love hearing others take on the parks and getting new ideas. Have an awesome day.
Let me digest that. What some things in there? Yeah, definitely the sit-down restaurants are a great idea.
That sounds exactly like what my family does, but only in 4 or 5 days.
Because to put it into perspective, we went to Toothsome last time we were over. Lauren, if you're listening, thank you. It was awesome. We were in there for 2.5 hours. And it was fantastic from start to finish. It was bloody expensive in the end, but it was worth every penny. Well, Michelle, mine and Tracy's opinions of Toothsome after that first trip. It was awful. It wasn't as bad as Cowfish, but it wasn't somewhere we were keen to go back to.
Right, but I'm glad you gave it another try because I love it every time I go there.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. And honestly, again, if you're listening, she made it a huge difference to how good that meal was. But yeah, 2.5 hours we were in there, and it was such a great experience, especially somewhere like Toothsome, because you can wander around. The details and the architecture inside there is it's like an attraction all in its own as well, on top of top class food, and those milkshakes are amazing. So yeah, definitely. The idea of only being able to do so many courses in a day is definitely not a bad thing. I'm very much like that. It's just, again, it's, even though she's saying oh, we do this one day and then we get up late, and it's like, I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. I have to.
But you are in a unique position too, coming from the UK. Like you,
it doesn't make any difference. Like she was
well,
saying,
it
they
does,
go once
because
every.
she gets to come.
No, she said, 8 or 9 days every
That's
other
true.
year.
That's true.
If that's me, I need to do as much as I can because I'm not back for 2 years. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's where I need to break my mentality of, I know I'm coming back in 2 years' time, so I don't need to do it all now. But again, from a perspective of someone running the longest running Universal Orlando podcast, it's all about expanding my knowledge and bringing it up to date, because I do feel out of touch sometimes when we haven't been for a while and we're talking about things that we haven't experienced or things that have changed since the last time we were there. And it's like I'm talking at it from a point of view of talking to you or Chris or our Producers Club members or watching vlogs, whereas needing to experience it firsthand to fully be able to talk about it
Right.
is definitely something I take on board.
Yep. But everybody's different too. And if you are a go person, there's nothing wrong with that.
I wish I wasn't. Like Tracy's not now. But I'm just, even when I'm at home, I can't sit still.
And that's okay, as long as you don't make everybody else around you miserable. Like, you got to be okay going off and doing things by yourself and letting those of us who are tired take a break.
Well, that was why, like, we learned a lot of lessons when we came over in 2020. Like, to the point this time, there was, I think it was the Friday morning, Tracy and Jade were going out with Chris Azell to a K-pop store. Raymond was like, right, I'm going to go in the shower. I was like, right, I'm jumping in the parks. I went and got on the bus. I went over to Universal Studios Florida and I rode Men in Black 7 times in a row on my own.
That's awesome.
It was great. And then Raymond came over and I rode it with him. And then our friend Sam popped over and we rode it with him. And it was, I've never done that before. I've never been, that's the first time I've ever been in the parks on my own.
That's cool.
And it was weird. I don't know whether I liked it. It was cool, but it's like, my buddy's not with me. Where's my theme park buddy? She's off spending money at K-pop crap like she normally does. She's doing it again this trip as well.
I mean, it is always more fun having somebody with you.
Of course it is, but it's every now and again it was different.
Yeah.
Carrying on, Adam Phillips, he says, my longest continuous trip to the parks have been 4 park days in a row. So in 2021, I did 3 trips of 3 days, 3 days and 4 days. So I do understand the assignment here, I think. So here are just a few tips. If I was planning an extended trip, I would likely not stay at a Premier hotel, so express passes would not be part of the equation here. I like that idea because then you're going to have to stand in standby lines, and that what's the word I'm looking for? That urge to want to ride because you can't as much.
Right.
With that said, I would plan out individual days so that some would be ride heavy and some would be shopping and show heavy, or character encounter or photo op heavy. I would pick 2 to 3 opportune days to purchase Express Pass and focus exclusively on rides those days. This will cut down on extended line times, which for me is the number one thing that will weigh down a trip to Universal. If you have all week or multiple weeks, avoid the weekend crowds in the ride lines and focus on getting great pictures or taking in the shows those days. So I would go as far as to say potentially do a split stay at that point. And so rather than buying those express passes, stay at a Cabana Bay or a Sapphire Falls or a Surfside or Dockside or one of those for the first half of the trip, and then move over to a Royal Pacific Hard Rock Portofino.
Right. Yeah, that's what I would recommend too.
Yeah, because that's basically what we're doing on this trip.
Yep.
One thing I've done is planned an exclusive Wizarding World day where we took in all the Wizarding World shows, ate at all the Wizarding World restaurants, bought robes and wands, visited all of the spell locations. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've never done those either. I'm not saying to plan out every aspect of your trip and not be spontaneous at all, but if you do plan some itinerary-specific days, it can help keep you focused, heighten the experience, and you can build a complete themed day around an IP that you love. You could plan similar days or half days at least around places like Jurassic Park, Marvel Superhero Island, and Springfield if you're a fan of those. Yeah, I like that idea. I know, funny enough, talking about him again, Sam, they're just doing their vlogs. I'll give him a plug. If I can remember his bloody YouTube name. 2 3/4 UK they are. And I know they spent, I think it was 2 full days, one in Hogsmeade and one in Diagon Alley, literally doing all the stuff in those 2 areas, which, well, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, we've spent quite a bit of time in Hogsmeade, and it does make a massive difference to your trip. I think when we came over in 2013, we came out for 3 weeks. So it allowed us that time to really step back and just grab a butterbeer and just sit and chill out and enjoy being in Hogsmeade, which you never get.
It's been so busy every time I've been there. I tend to just walk through the Wizarding World these days, like passing through just to get to the rides, just because they've been so crowded. And with the wands, I have my wands, but I feel so bad taking up time from the little kids because they're all standing in line, and then this adult's like, oh, I want my turn, which I know, like, we've all paid to be there, but I still just feel bad that there's a bunch of little tiny kids waiting behind me to do it. So I don't tend to do the wand interactions as much as I should, and that does sound kind of fun, just taking a day just to kind of be there and immerse myself.
Like, to make that plan of, we are not going to set foot outside of Diagon Alley today would actually be really cool.
Well, yeah.
Universal Easter egg hunting is always something I've wanted to do. So if I had a free day at the park during a long vacation, I would be sure to find out as many of these as I can. And there are a ton, as we know, because we've done a whole episode on here, and I did one of my tours at the Weekender. Yeah, doing that would be awesome. Kind of done it.
You did a couple of tours about it at the Weekender.
It didn't take all day, to be fair, but I mean, there's probably more at this point. Again, going back to what I think it was Stephanie said, completing all the behind-the-scenes ride tours that are available is something available to pass the time and add to your Universal experience as well. And I'm going to go as far as saying something else. Talk to team members. Just strike up a conversation. Or just random park goers. It's something I've learned. I've said for a long time, I had this conversation, I think it was Alexa or Gillian at our RIP tour. I have said for the longest time that I am an introvert. And I've realised now I'm not.
No, you're not.
I will talk to anybody now. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, no. There's no way you're an introvert.
And some of talking to team members around the park are some of the best interactions we've had, honestly. And that's something that can just break up your day and add an extra experience. Because let's be honest, I think I've said this before, it's the interactions you have with people at theme parks that 9 times out of 10 are the memories you take home.
That's very true.
If you ride Spider-Man, like, we'll ride Spider-Man next week, and it'll be the same ride that we've had every time we've been on it. But if you talk to a team member at the exit, you're going to have a completely different conversation every time. And most of those team members are awesome. I will say that from our last trip, every team member we came across were phenomenal. I mean, we stood in the exit of Mythos when it was absolutely pouring down and talked to Casey. I think there's actually a bit of it on the podcast we released that we recorded while we were over there, just talking about life to him. It was awesome.
Right. Well, a big part of longer trips is honestly just slowing down in general. So you don't need to rush from ride to ride to ride. Just slow down. Like, if you're in line for Forbidden Journey, whether you have Express or don't, go through it slow.
Yeah.
Let people pass you.
Yes, for definite.
You know, take the time and really look at all the details. And like Lee was saying, talk to people, talk to team members, see if they can give you any insight about any of the stuff that you're looking at, or, you know, like there's just so much detail. And that's, again, something that Asa, my oldest daughter's boyfriend, was saying after he experienced the parks. He was like, there's just so much, you know, it's so detailed in here. It's so themed. Like, I had no idea until I was here. I know you guys have said it, but experiencing it is something very different.
Yeah.
So yeah, just slow down and take in those details.
Yeah, go and have a conversation with the Hogwarts Express conductor. If he's not busy, he'll spend hours talking to you. Well, not hours because they're not on for that long, but you know what I mean.
Yep, for sure. All right, let's see what Corey Hall has to say. In 2019, I was planning our anniversary trip. We had done Disney for so many years that I wanted to change it up. I was very worried about going for a week solely to Universal Orlando. I think I did squeeze a day in at Hollywood Studios. I suppose that would be my first bit of advice. Talk with your travel agent at Portkey Vacations. Hey!
Oh, shameless plug.
Look at that. I didn't even ask him to do that. And see what other parks or experiences in Orlando would be a great value for a day. Plan this day earlier on in your trip so that you aren't exhausted from all the other epic fun. Plus, say you go to Fun Spot for the day and absolutely hate it. Well, at least you didn't end your vacation on that note.
That's true.
Here's my second tip. Go during a seasonal event.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea. Mardi Gras, HHN, and the holidays add so much more to do that you will wish you had more time to do everything.
Yep.
That is exactly on point. Going back to that 2019 trip, I planned that around going to HHN for the first time. I knew that even though UOR only has the 2 parks and water theme park, with HHN added on top for 3 nights, we were going to be busy. And if you are doing multiple nights at HHN, then you are definitely going to love some extra time spent off your feet during your week.
Definitely.
Here are some final tips. Take time for yourself away from the hustle of the parks. Relax at the pool with a good book in the morning. Have a lovely evening at a table service restaurant, at a hotel, or city walk. Catch a movie or play a round of mini golf. So he goes on for a lot more. So let's take a break real fast and mention or talk about what he just said about the seasonal event. That is a great idea.
Yeah.
Because for sure, like the holidays, for instance, coming up, will be there next week. My daughters and I are only there for 4 days. You're there for 10, but in the 4 days, now with it being the holidays, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much we need to see.
Yeah. And
on top of the weekender, I want to do, I want to see certain things with the girls and la, la, la. And I'm like, I can't now what normally would be an easy thing to do just on a random trip because of the holidays, I can't fit it all in.
No.
So that is for sure. If you're planning a long trip like that, doing it over some special event will definitely add value to your vacation.
Yeah, just adding in, like going back to last week's episode, just adding in trying all the season, or not all of it, but a fair chunk of the seasonal food is huge. The tribute store, there's so, especially during the holidays, there's so much extra to sort of break from your normal trip to Universal Orlando.
Yep. He goes on to say, stay on site. You all know the tons of benefits, but my absolute favorite is leaving the parks at 12 p.m. to go back to the room.
What?
I know, that's a little unheard of for me too. We eat lunch, pop on some TV, and then take a nap.
I mean, that would be nice. That would be nice, mind, I must admit.
I do that only during HHN. Around 3:30 to 4, we will be re-energized to head back to the park for the evening. Getting out of the dang Florida sun during that time really makes a difference. I mean, he's not wrong. Yeah. It's just really hard to do.
Yeah.
Unless it's, like I said, HHN, where I know I'm going to be at the parks until 2 a.m.
Yeah. It still wouldn't stop me. I still wouldn't go back to the hotel. But anyway.
Yeah, and that's why you get sick on vacation.
I wasn't sick on this last one.
Oh, good for you.
I didn't even have a headache, I don't think.
Wow.
Tracy had it all.
All right. Continuing. Need to save money while you are on an extended vacation? Go to a grocery store and buy yourself some food for lunches and snacks in between meals. If you don't want to make your meals, eat at restaurants off property for lunch.
Yeah, no.
I'm not a huge fan because I'm a mama and I tend to have to be the one that cooks for my family all the time when I'm home.
Yeah.
I don't like preparing food for my family when I'm on vacation.
Tracy's exactly the same. She said she will not cook. Like, I'm cooking at home all the time. That's not a vacation for me then. And I'm like, no, I get that. That's fine. I wouldn't expect you to.
Right. I mean, I'll buy snacks. Like, I do like having snacks in the room for, late night or whatever. But as far as like actual food for lunches, me.
Like, we did it in 2013 when we came over. I think when we went down to give Kids the World. And we got back really, really late. We hadn't had anything to eat. So we had some microwavable corn dogs we just slammed in the microwave and we're like eating them at like 11:30 at night. It was hilarious.
I mean, hey.
They weren't bad, actually.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a gift shop and bought just a regular size bag of like cheese puffs and paid like $6 for them because I didn't bring them from home with me.
Yep.
So I do bring snacks, but that's about it. Corey says, go early and stay late. If you are on site, like I recommended, then you will have early access to the parks. Take advantage of that to ride your favorite rides. You can do so much in the first 3 hours of a park day.
See?
That's true. Going back to the park later in the day and staying until close has 2 benefits. 1, people always start piling out an hour before park close, sometimes sooner. And 2, that dang sun again. It may not be a drastic change in temperature depending on what time of year it is, but I will take what I can get. Also, with the sun down, the parks and rides change. Ride your favorite coaster at night. Visit Nocturne Alley. Walk around the lagoon at Islands to take in the various views of the park. Nighttime at Universal is the best time. I agree.
Yes, it's something Tracy and I have realised that we haven't really done many night rides, and it's something we want to put right on this next trip.
Seuss Landing is one of my favorite places to be at night, especially during the holidays.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Tracy to see it. Volcano Bay. Aren't you on vacation to relax? Go chill at Volcano Bay for a few hours in the morning to put your mind and body in vacation mode. Soak up some morning sun with a gorgeous view, then worry about escaping Gringotts and defending our planet against aliens.
I like it.
Don't try to do everything in your first few days. You'll wear yourself out and you will feel like there's nothing else to do. Plan to only do a couple of lands a day. Spend time in those lands looking at every single detail. Talk to team members and learn about the land.
Yes.
People watch. My favorite thing to do, especially during HHN, find a bench and rest those legs and get ready for unexpected entertainment.
Yep, that's perfect.
Yep. If you haven't gotten my point, you are on vacation. Slow down, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Stay hydrated. Again, I think they're talking to you, Lee. Leave your phone in your bag.
No.
Oh, that's kind of hard. Maybe designate one person in the party to be the wait time checker. Don't worry about capturing every moment. Allow yourself to take it in without viewing through a 6-inch screen.
Yeah, that's tough these days, though, isn't it?
Yep. Aren't there enough screens in the parks already? Be patient with your loved ones, team members, and other guests. If something doesn't go as planned, don't stress. It will be okay. Just have fun. I'm sure there are tons more, but I'll leave that for others to share. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Yeah.
I have trouble with that. The whole, if
the
things
phone?
don't go as planned, don't stress, it'll be okay.
Oh.
I'm very much, I have this thing where if I expect things to go in a certain way, and if they don't, it stresses the hell out of me.
Yes, I remember.
So if I'm like, right, we're going to do this, and then do that, and then we'll go and do that, and then by then it should be this time. And if that doesn't go to plan, it just throws me out completely, and I get completely stressed.
Yeah. See, I don't really plan that much ahead. I kind of usually, my family has like a list of must-dos for the day, but no set time to do those things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's really no disappointment, but we also are like, we would love to get these things in for the day. They're our priority, but if we can't get something in because of wait times or whatever, we can try that one again the next day. So we always have a backup plan. The phone thing is one that is easy and difficult for me. Like I feel like I need to have it out because I feel like people are constantly trying to get in touch with me. But because I want to try to be present and enjoy my time there and not be working, I do tend to sometimes put my phone away and not think about it. And then I don't take enough pictures to bring back home for social. It's a catch-22 no matter what I do.
Not even necessarily social media, is it? Like you want to be able to. It's finding that happy medium between being present in the moment, but then also having pictures for your memories when you get home.
Yeah.
I get punished if I'm on my phone when I shouldn't be. So Tracy, because I'm not a huge rider of spinny rides. The first time Tracy and the kids went on the carousel and I was on my phone not paying attention to them riding it for the first time, she made me go on it. She took my phone off me and made me go on it, and I was fine and I actually really enjoyed it. And now I ride carousel as much as I can. Yeah, she's like, you aren't watching your kids on it for the first time. Get on it, go on. I was like, oh, okay.
That's funny. That sounds like something Tracy would do.
Yeah. But it made me go on something I wouldn't ordinarily have gone on, and I was fine. It was good. I quite like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we're going to get from this whole thing is it's a mindset change, isn't it? that's basically the main thing. That's like, how do you navigate a longer trip at Universal? You need to change your mindset from what a theme park vacation usually is for you.
Yep.
I think this is the last one. So this is coming from Laurie Canning. And Laurie says, usually whenever I go, we stay on site at Universal for 2 weeks with a 2-week ticket and go most days, but we try to spice it up to avoid getting burnt out. We do sometimes end up spending the full day there, but we try to go either mornings or afternoons and evenings and spend the other half at the pool, Volcano Bay, or shopping. We try to do something new each day, i.e. try a new sack or go to a different food place. We also drank around the islands. That's a good idea if that's your thing. Drink around the islands areas at both parks, which was a fun, albeit expensive day. And
yes.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I bet the next day didn't have a lot going on either. When there for so long, there isn't as much pressure to go on the rides, so we would try and go see all the shows and take it all in and explore the lesser known places. We would go to City Walk for lunch to break it up, and we always go to the cinema when we are there too. It has become a tradition. I also find the walkway really nice, so we do this too if our legs aren't too sore. I think we've been to every place at City Walk by now and even got a tattoo there, but fair warning, it is slightly more pricey than any tattoo shop here. I mean, there's an option if you want to break up a bit of time.
Yep.
I still find it weird that there's a tattoo shop on City Walk. Like, who's going to a theme park and getting a tattoo?
A lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
I find it a strange one. Although we tend to go to the parks every day, if it's too busy, we would head back to the hotel and chill by the pool or go shopping at the outlets. I drive. I think it's easy to feel like you should spend every minute of your trip at Universal, but this is not possible, especially when on longer 2-week trips. I think there's a fine balance between enjoying your time and also realizing it's fine not to spend every minute there, especially to avoid getting burnt out or sick of it. I mean, no, is my answer to that. We also try and change up what park we start with and rides, so no 2 days are the same. Hope this helps. Cheers. Yeah. No.
Yeah, no. Well, a good thing about having a long pass like that for those of you coming from overseas and you have access to those 2-3 week long tickets, or an annual pass, you shouldn't feel the need to be there every day. Like, because in order to quote unquote get your money's worth, because those tickets are fabulous value.
Mine was an amazing value, by the way.
Yeah. So it's not like buying a 3-day ticket where it's pricey and you feel like you need to be there open to close each of those 3 days. Because you've got your values worth of that 2-week ticket after being in the parks for just 3 days.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't feel guilty spending a day at the pool or, like you said, going shopping at the outlets or something like that, for sure.
Yeah. Like I say, again, it goes against mine and Tracy's mindset of what a trip to Orlando means, and that it's changing that is the biggest thing. I mean, I think after this trip, we're not sure when we're going to get back, but I hope when our next trip is, it'll be back to 2 weeks again, and just having that freedom of extra time is going to be amazing.
Well, according to Tracy, it's Halloween Horror Nights next year.
Apparently so, yes. Well, we will see whether that happens or not. But I mean, for a proper vacation, I'm hoping our next one we'll get back to our usual 2-week trips again. I mean, like I say, when we came out in 2013 for 3 weeks, just that extra time meant we really could just chill out. And we ended up having, I think we planned to spend 7 days at Universal and ended up doing 9. So having those 2 extra days, like I say, there was times when we would just grab a butterbeer and literally just sit on the wall in front of the 3 broomsticks and just sit there and drink and kind of take in where you are. Because there is so much to take in. And that's the problem. Again, like Tracy always preaches about port of entry, that people treat it as a thoroughfare into the parks because there's nothing to do. You're not really paying attention. Your focus is on that other end of getting into Islands of Adventure, and there's so much in there.
Yep.
Cool.
I honestly can't even say that I've taken time in port of entry to just explore.
No, and there's so much going on. I can't remember what was said right at the beginning. Look up. I think it might have been Kayla. Look up, look around, and listen. And the problem is that the parks are usually so busy that you don't get to hear what's going on. So we actually had it this last time when we met up with Chris and Alexa on our first night, and we went and did Kong and then made our way back through Hogsmeade, and there was nobody in Hogsmeade. And that's when you can start to hear all the audio that's been playing in the shop windows and stuff that you can't hear during the day.
Listen, I'm terrible at that listening part because on Rush of Fear, Maddie and Kenneth had a whole huge long conversation about the soundtrack.
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Well, to be fair, I don't hear them. They were talking about stuff I'd never heard either, to be fair.
I mean, they were even singing it. And I was like,
Yeah,
what?
no.
I honestly didn't even hear music playing.
Yeah.
So
I'll pick up on little bits of it when we were at Horror Nights, like little bits of it. There was certain songs I'd keep hearing repeated and they'd stick in my head, but the stuff they were talking about, not a clue.
yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
It's like the smells in the house. It's like, oh, did you smell? And I don't think I've ever smelled a smell in a house yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I walk through those with all my senses closed off, to be fair. But
Okay.
anyway, yeah, I think that's interesting. I think, it is. Like I've said, we've experienced it ourselves going, and it wasn't even a particularly long trip, just a 7-day trip and getting burnt out from the parks. I mean, we haven't even mentioned things like the luau and Harbour Nights and Velvet Sessions. You know, there's so much other stuff, especially like the hotels again there's so much stuff going on at the hotels. Like, is it every night the opera singers come out at port of entry?
Yeah. Weather permitting, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, and the Velvet Sessions, Bret Michaels was just there. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was last week or this weekend.
Yeah, the kitchen
That's
challenge.
awesome.
Go and do the kitchen challenge at the Hard Rock. You won't complete it. You'll feel bloody awful afterwards. But, it's something to do that Universal don't really advertise it. We've done it twice. Never again. But it's something extra to do to pad that out. There is so much that people don't necessarily know about or just don't pay attention to that you could quite easily spend 3 weeks on property and not exhaust everything.
Yep, I agree.
Cool. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode. As I said, I don't know whether I did mention it or whether I mentioned it last week, but this is the last episode we will be recording like this in our home studio, you want to call it, our living rooms, this year. So next week should be a bonus episode that we did with asking people what they would wish for from Santa at Universal Orlando. Then the week after that will be our live audio from the Weekender and Mine and Tracy's trip like we always do. And then I think the week after that I'm planning on recording all the Christmas audio from around the parks. So like the Grinch Christmas show and the Holiday Blues Brothers and Celestina Warbeck, and putting that as a show. And then I think we're actually going to take a week off this year. I don't know how I feel about it. We're actually going to miss a week for the first time in I don't even know.
Why are we going to miss a week?
I'm tired. I was hoping to get to sit down with Blake and do a Rides That Made Me, but he's so busy. And I like to take the holidays off. Normally I get prepared beforehand, so we've got content to go out over through that. It just hasn't happened this year. So I think we're just going to take what show would have come out on the 27th of December. I think we're just going to take it off. And then come back fresh for next year, because I've got plenty planned for next year. And yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. Right. That's going to wrap the episode up. Of course, as we are recording this, the Weekender hasn't happened, but as you're listening to it, it will be finished and done and over altogether. And so we will end this show as we always do with the Universal Is, and this one comes from Jordan Bolin. But of course, if you want to get involved, all you've got to do is let us know what you think Universal is in 3 words or less, and get them to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. But for episode 535, Jordan says, Universal is my favourite job. And we will catch you with our live audio next week.
That was another episode of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, the best and only podcast about Universal Orlando on the island. Check us out on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcasts, news, and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Contact us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. Join the Producers Club by emailing us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Check out our friends, the Theme Park Duo, for all your other theme park news, and email Michelle at portkeyvacations.net to book your next trip. So until next time, this is Amity 6, Call Off the Marines, we're coming home.